Fresh off a full week of training, the first-place Union are back on the road searching for 3 points. Good news, Jack Elliott is back in the lineup after missing the last 2 games. And this evening from Exploria Stadium in Orlando, it's the first of 2 regular season meetings between the Union and Orlando City SC. Nestled in our 6 ABC studios in Philadelphia. Welcome to Philadelphia Union Soccer with the club's all-time leading scorer, Sebastian Letou. I'm Dave Leno. The Union enter play tonight unbeaten the last 4. They have won the last 3 games. But tonight, how do they deal with a tough Orlando team who's unbeaten in the last 3?
I think they play as a first team in the East right now. I think they are playing very well.
And let's go back to Julian Carranza because he gets the hat-trick last game against D.C. If you recount, he had a 7-game goalless drought. The last goal prior to all those goals against D.C. was against LAFC. So for Jim Curtin and sporting director Ernst Tanner, they had a decision to make amongst their staff whether to purchase that contract of Julian Carranza from Inter Miami. And here's a little bit from Curtin on Monday about those conversations throughout the technical staff.
He's still not eligible for this game.
So again, that was on Monday because he was formerly on loan from Inter Miami. He wasn't eligible to play, the club that loaned him. But now that the transfer is permanent to the Union, he is eligible. And by the way, not in the starting lineup. He is on the bench tonight. I thought what impressed me, and you and I called the game on radio, was that Carranza's work rate, not just offensively in his movement around the box, but defensively in that game. I thought he did a ton of running against DC United.
Yes, and it's how he scored, I think, all his goals.
One of the main reasons why the Union enter first place as we start week 22 of the MLS docket is the play of the front 3 in Uwa, Carranza, and Gazdag. What stood out to you with the play of those men up top?
I think it's just the movement, between all of them. You see.
Let's get some more perspective on tonight's game, and to do so, we'll head across the studio and check in with Dave Leno and Danny Higginbottom.
Thank you very much, Marissa. Chicago has lost 3 of the last 4 league games, Danny. How do you expect the first 15-20 minutes from the Union perspective to show up tonight?
They're a team that need a win, Chicago, and I think Union can use that in their favour. I think the way that they're starting to play together, they could cause Chicago a lot of problems.
We've seen a lot this year that teams are trying to combat the Union playing 3 or maybe 5 in the back. Tonight they'll face a back 4. How do the Union attack that back 4? We know Andre Reynolds will be making his first career start at left back for Chicago.
Well, when you're playing against a team that plays with a back 4, the width more often than not comes from the fullbacks.
Shaqiri will be very dangerous. You have to expect in this match with the number 10 for Chicago. He missed the last 2 games due to a hamstring strain. Will it take Jose Martinez to man-mark him, at least follow him to a certain point tonight?
Yeah, that's been really important this season. So if Shaqiri drifts to the right or to the left, he has to be able to hand him over because he doesn't want to leave the middle of the pitch open.
Marissa said, but the Union are unbeaten the last 4 against Chicago. They look to continue that theme tonight on the road.
We certainly hope so, guys. Thank you so much. Always great to get your point of view.
Get the goal after Bo, score the first for New England.
So after Sebastian, the 2 goals by Gazdag on a penalty and Uwa, a huge save in the back. It wasn't Andre Blake. It was Jacob Glesnes, a heroic moment. It's second half stoppage time to rob Bo and preserve this win for the Union.
Yes, it could have been a tie, but with Jacob Glesnes, really very smart of him, just staying on the line, giving so many assists, and it's what you need to give a winning team.
And I thought they did a really nice job on the left-hand side. And I mentioned that at the start of this segment because if you dissect the last 2 games on video of the Inter Miami and DC matchups, they were operating more on the right with Bedoya, but Bedoya, of course, came in and helped out on the penalty as a second-half sub. Let's get to the Eastern Conference standings. As it stands right now, Montreal defeated Toronto 1-0. That means they still sit in 4th, but they have 32 points. But obviously with the win tonight, it's the 3rd straight for the Union. They have the 4-point separation over New York City. By the way, City plays the Red Bulls in the Hudson River Derby tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a great matchup between the 2 New York teams because
He puts out the fire yet again. Looking, still in the box, shot. What a goal from Aronson! His first, it's 1 more. Fires! Glesnes goal!
Tonight in the Windy City, the Union begin a 2-game road swing and on short rest from Sunday's thriller over New York City. From Soldier Field in Chicago, it's the first of 2 meetings between the Union and Chicago Fire FC. Welcome to Philadelphia Union Soccer with Danny Higginbottom. I'm Dave Leno. The Union are unbeaten in 9 in first place in the East. But Danny, what's the mindset against Chicago, a team that's tied for the fewest points in the league with 14?
Has to be exactly the same as what it was against NYCFC. First place in the league at the time, NYCFC. Chicago are bottom of the league, but Union have to treat the game the same way, or they could get dragged down themselves, and that's not what they want.
Union are coming off an exhilarating 2-1 win over New York City on Sunday. Corey Burke with the game-winning goal in the 96th minute. What were your overall impressions of that performance?
Well, when you look back at this goal, we can see that obviously it takes a deflection off Berg from Martinez. It's already, he's in an onside position, but the biggest thing was that they'd taken the lead, Union. They then conceded against NYCFC, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, here we go again. But it's the way that they bounced back, the character that they showed, and you can see from the celebration just how much it meant to not just the players, but to Jim Curtin as well, just to snap the draw sequences and get that result.
So the Union go from playing one of the best teams of the league to playing now a team that's at the bottom of the table in the East. Here's Jim Curtin saying this matchup can't be a letdown tonight.
It is a trap game. I use that exact word in the locker room. And the thing that I keep stressing is, if we've learned one thing about MLS this season, the records mean nothing. When the ball kicks off and it's a new 90 minutes, anybody can beat anyone. It's really hard to win in this league. It's a challenging league. Chicago still has great players. I know Ezra and CJ Brown have done great work getting those guys going. It always takes a little bit of time to get a group to gel. And we want to guard against preventing them having a breakout game against us. So we know we're going to get their very best. And then certainly, not having a letdown after such an emotional win isn't easy in this sport, but it's certainly something we've already talked about and we want to guard against.
Osmo player profile. We spotlight Chicago's Xherdan Shaqiri. He's played in the last 3 World Cups with Switzerland. Will play in his 4th upcoming in Qatar 2022. How did the Union stop Shaqiri tonight?
Well, there's a huge talent, and it's not just going to be on Martinez, because he will be playing in the 10 position. He will drift, so it's so important that the communication at the back for Union is vital. It means that he will be handed on to certain players. As long as the communication is at its best, then they can try and keep him quiet.
He's missed the last 2 games, back in the starting 11 tonight for Chicago. Union games in Chicago produced some incredible moments, like this world-class strike from Quinn Sullivan last season. Find out what's in store tonight. We'll have starting lineups and opening kickoff next when Union Soccer on PHL 17 returns.